Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Ramsey's Rockin' Roads. And this is, as the fantastic Mr. Fox would say, this is the sequel to the Rejuvenator that we talked about in, let's call it part one, where I gave you guys a massive history lesson starting from pre-Civil War to current times. And so we're actually at a job here on the Central Coast. I'm not gonna, I don't want to get people in trouble and I don't want to cause problems for myself. I'm just gonna say we're on a job here on the Central Coast that we paved. I had my office look it up. We quoted the job in 2014. We ended up paving it in 2015. But the issue is we have not been doing the maintenance on this property. So this job is roughly 10 years old. And the reason I remembered it or thought it would be a good idea for Shane and I to come out here and film it is because I recently just quoted this job. My suggestion at the time, or right now, the only way we're gonna save this job, and you're gonna follow me in and we're gonna look at it, the only way we're saving this job is with Rejuvenator. It has been ill managed, as far as, the property management is great, but it's been ill managed as far as the way the asphalt preservation is going. It's been seal coated too much. The surface is so dry. When you guys look at this, you're gonna think that it's at least 20 years old. I did the paving, it's only 9 or 10 years old. So we're gonna go through, I'm gonna explain what's going on here from my feeble little brain's mind, and then we'll just carry on. So Shane, follow me in. Let's pan at the surface here. So what we're looking at here is a parking lot that is roughly 10 years old, and the surface is completely dry and the surface is completely absent from any kind of binder, meaning the black Elmer's glue that I'm always talking about, it is completely absent. Now, by trying to apply some kind of seal coat to the surface, the seal coat will not stick. Seal coat sticks to asphalt. Asphalt sticks to asphalt. And so if we try to put a seal coat on the surface, the only thing that's going to happen is the seal coat is not going to bond properly. Water's going to get between the layers of seal coat, and it's just going to continue to dry out the surface. So let's go over here. Follow me over here, Shane. We're going to go over here. Now keep in mind this parking lot's only 10 years old, and look at what I'm going to do. Literally, I'm just peeling up chunks of seal coat. And we can see how thick, the seal coat is, literally, this parking lot is 10 years old. It's completely destroyed. Now, one thing Shane's gonna post for you guys. Let's just keep panning on the surface, Shane. Oh, here, look at this side. This is where the surface has been over seal coated and the surface is so dry. And now we're finding that and Shane's gonna post my little Susie Bake oven that I have at the office. What I found out, and I just recently found this out end of 2025, was when you use a seal coat that's very low on acrylic, low on polymer, what happens is it allows water to penetrate through the seal coat and get between the layers of seal coat and get underneath the layers of seal coat, and literally the water's trapped under the seal coat, drying out the surface. So here, follow me. Now, the sad thing is, as we look through this parking lot, we paved this 10 years ago. You would be hard pressed to find a crack. Structurally, this property is absolutely amazing. Now, I'm sure there might be a few cracks here and there that we can find, but structurally, it's in amazing shape. Over here, where the sealer doesn't wear, the surface is completely destroyed. Now pan over there, Shane, to the middle, to the aisleway. So over here, where the cars are driving, the seal coat wears away, and the water doesn't have a chance to sit for hours and hours and hours upon day, every day, between the layers of seal coat and the surface of the asphalt, drying it out. So, 2 lessons here, guys. Lesson 1, simply lesson 1, and here you can see how literally the surface is so dry and rotten. So, lesson 1, you seal coat, you let it wear completely away to where it practically looks like that. Shine over there, Shane. To where everything is completely gone. Lesson 2, my suggestion for using seal coat is we need to make sure that the seal coats that are being used have at least 2 to 4% some kind of polymer, latex, acrylic, and there's lots of different kinds of plastics out there, the liquid plastics that can be added to seal coat. But this is the 2 reasons why this is happening. 1, over seal coating, and 2, just very cheap seal coat, just very, very, very inexpensive seal coat. Now I'm gonna have Shane post on, so I have 2 different pictures I'm gonna post. One is gonna be seal coat, non-polymer, and then I'm gonna post other pictures that I've discovered seal coat with polymer that's been over sealed. You'll see that the surface isn't as damaged as this. I mean, this surface is literally completely destroyed. Here, follow me. Now, Shane, I think it would be a good idea. Let's just pan down this aisleway so you can see where the traffic is driving. Traffic's driving over here in this aisleway, over on this side, and people are staying away from the trees, people are staying away from the curbs. This just doesn't get the kind of traffic. And you can see 10 years of my beautiful paving is completely destroyed simply by seal coating. Now, history tells us, and all the reserve studies tells us, that this association has been doing the right thing. They've been seal coating every 3 years, every 3 years, every 3 years, every 3 years. But this is what happens when you follow tradition. It just gets totally destroyed. Follow me. So on the right side here, you can see that literally the binder is gone. The sealer has literally destroyed the surface. Now over on this side, it's not bad. We can literally follow the traffic pattern of the cars. Over here, completely, practically destroyed. Down the middle here, binder's completely gone. It's so dry. Now this project, I know we paved it in 2015, and I'm sure that this material has somewhere about 15% wrap in it. And this is some really dry material here. Let me step out of the shade here. I mean, this is literally the fines are coming out of the asphalt. I mean, so like I said, the management company called me this year to quote on this job, and I'm not gonna lie, I've been hit with a little bit of resistance because I'm suggesting things that are not traditional, and I'm suggesting things that are a little unconventional. When I come in here and say, hey, I need to spray a rejuvenator on, if I'm gonna save this parking lot, I need to spray a rejuvenator on it, and you don't need to seal coat, you just need to let it burn and let it wear away. And they're like, wait, hold the phone. Our reserve study says we need to seal coat. So I am hit with a little bit of resistance here, but all I can do is lead a horse to water. I can't make him drink. And then out here, where we get very little traffic, you see this, I don't know, I really don't know how to describe it. It's not really alligatoring, because it's not alligatoring. It's more like orange peel type of thing. I guess that would be a good way to describe it, like an orange peel. But if we look down, so for those of you that are not sold on the idea of rejuvenators, which is okay. This is what an asphalt surface should look like prior to any more applications of seal coat being applied. It has to be 90% gone. Don't get run over, Shane. It has to be 90% gone before any more coats of sealer are applied. Now, a new way of maintenance and new way of thinking would be a property like this, we need to rejuvenate the asphalt molecules, because the asphalt molecules in the asphalt teens and the healthy asphalt, even though it had wrap in it, is still here. It's just underneath the surface. If I got a screwdriver and I dug into the asphalt, you would see beautiful black non-oxidized asphalt. But this is just simply the surface. This is wrap asphalt, very strong, and there's nothing wrong with it. But because of maintenance or lack of knowledge or somebody not really caring, now the entire surface is pretty much on the brink of needing to be overlaid. This is a little area that I just got my screwdriver and I picked out, and you can see the black asphalt there, but this is the surface. Look at how nice and beautiful and black that asphalt is. The binder is 100%. I don't care what anybody says about wrap asphalt. That asphalt is beautiful and black and 100% restored. There's nothing wrong with it. So here, follow me. Let's find, follow me, guys. I'm gonna find another chunk of, I'm gonna find a chunk of asphalt in the corner. And just so you guys don't think I'm fibbing, I want you guys to see me, or actually we could probably do it right here. So you guys, are you here? Okay, here we go. I'm gonna try to break off a little corner here. There we are. Here we are. Shane, look at that. So zoom in on that. How black the binder is compared to the surface. And look at how black that is. Look how black that is. Here, let me put it right here. Look how black that binder is compared to the surface around it. So if the asphalt technology was there to where it let us surface grind off 1/8 of an inch off this entire parking lot and get rid of this old oxidized asphalt, we would be back down to black, beautiful asphalt that is the same color black as the day it got paved. So I think that's all we got for now. Stay tuned. We're going to head to another site. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Now we're at a second property here on the Central Coast, and this is another one that I paved. Now this job was a conform grind. We conform grind all the edges, left it crowned in the middle. So we raised the middle, lowered the edges. So just so we get more waterfall off to the sides. This was 2 inches, fabric interlayer, and thankfully, and I said this was paved 7 or 8 years ago. Thankfully, the management company reached out to me last year, wanted my suggestion on what needs to be done here. And I said, you guys, you gotta wait. We have to wait. We cannot seal coat. Thankfully, they took my advice because things are looking better. Things are starting to wear. But I want to just walk around. Follow me, Shane. Now you'd be hard pressed. There are a couple cracks here that I've seen, but you'd be hard pressed to find any cracks. The conform, everything is really nice. And we're gonna look for some spots here which is usually pretty evident. Oh, here's some right here where it's the tall tale signs of just really, really cheap seal coats being used, and it's allowing water to get between the layers, causing the surface to dry out, which is already pre-oxidized by wrap material, as we talked about before. Now, this material this job was paved 7 or 8 years ago, so this most certainly was 25 to 30% wrap. And so yeah, carry on. Let's carry on. Now, the only saving grace to this project, to this property, oh, and here's more of the stuff going on here, Shane. Oh, it's pretty widespread here. I'm sorry. I'll get out of your guys' way. And that one might come up. This might come up really good. I don't know. Let me step on this side. Now, I don't know how well this is going to come up in the video, but this type of cracking is not, just so everybody understands me, this is not structural cracking. What this is this is simply surface damage from water getting trapped underneath the seal coat, rotting the surface, drying the surface. The seal coat has nothing to stick to, so then it literally just delaminates. It literally just pops off the surface, as we saw in a couple areas over there. So let's continue on. Oh, and we can see here, so this is a good area. We can see here at this angle here, all that fine checkered or orange peel asphalt. So there are pros and cons to seal coat. And so this is a nice angle here, Shane. We can see it up here. Oh, here's a nice, really nice corner here. Now, this association has newer asphalt, not as bad as the last association we looked at, but if they don't do something sooner than later, they're going to be in big trouble. Now, what they need to do sooner or later simply is nothing at all. We just need to let this crap wear away, and then hopefully it wears to the point where we can come in and pre-treat it with some kind of a rejuvenator and add some molecules, add some vitamins back into the surface to rehabilitate the asphalt molecules. If they don't do this, then we're going to be back out here within 5 to 10 years and re-overlaying this place. And it's a shame to me because there's zero structural damage. Okay, now here's another area of just simply same stuff, where it's a combination of brand new asphalt. Well, I say relatively brand new asphalt. Brand asphalt that's 7 or 8 years old, which I would consider, when you have a lifespan, an expected lifespan of 40 years, I would say that would be relatively new asphalt. And just an area that clearly does not get any wear and tear. It's up here and water's getting between the layers, and the seal coat's literally just flaking off the surface because the water is one of our only enemies. Sunlight and water are really only two enemies when it comes to asphalt, and especially in a parking lot, because we don't get enough traffic here. It's not like Highway 101 or 166 or Highway 66 where it gets a million cars a day. This is a parking lot. It sees, maybe everybody's in and out once a day, and that's it. So it just doesn't get enough. It doesn't get enough wear and tear to call traffic our enemy. However, sunlight is our enemy, water's our enemy, and water's even more our enemy when it gets trapped under the layers of seal coat and it just sits there, literally destroying the surface. So Shane, if you come over here, looks like a tree root, little root of some kind over here. But anyway, this is just very typical. This parking lot, I would say, is a very typical standard way of maintaining asphalt, with the ideologies that came around 40 years ago. And because we're not using the same kind of asphalt here, let's carry on, Shane. Let's continue walking. Because we're not using asphalt that was produced 40, 50 years ago, because we're using completely different aggregates, because we're using completely different binders, because we're using completely different maintenance preservation tools, we cannot do the same things now that we once did 40 or 50 years ago. And when we try to do things the way we did things 40, 50 years ago, we're literally destroying the asphalt. Now, if somebody didn't know how old the asphalt is here, even an asphalt contractor might come in here and look at an area like this and say, we're pushing 20 years old. And under normal circumstances, they would be right. But it just so happens that, oh yeah, come over here, Shane. It just so happens that the management company A and the board here B have just been ill-advised when it comes to the proper preservation methods. Now, I think they realize this, because I got a call last year from this association asking me not for a proposal. They just simply asked me to come in and evaluate their asphalt, and that's what I did. So the prognosis on this one is we do nothing at this point, and we just let it wear. Now we have a situation right here. Now I know a lot of you contractors that you're saying, hey Scott, there's a little bit more going on here than just asphalt, or a little bit more than just seal coat. But yeah, you're right. The water's coming off the roof, it's hitting here, it's blasting it. But once again, there's more water being introduced to the surface here, therefore getting underneath the seal coat, causing more damage. Okay guys, I guess the moral of the story is here, less is more. We need to be cognizant as to how much seal coat's being put on the parking lot, roadway, surfaces, whatever. We need to be cognizant of the cycle of the asphalt. We need to be cognizant of the type of the wrap material that's in it. There's a lot of things that we need to be aware of. But the moral of the story is less is always more. If there's ever any question, less is more. And the nice thing is, the good news is, mark my words, as rejuvenators become more mainstream than they are now, we are going to see that rejuvenator, there's going to be more of them come on the market. My feeling is within the next 5 years, rejuvenators will never take the place of a seal coat, a chip seal, a type 2 slurry. The rejuvenators will never do that. But what I foresee in the next 5 years is rejuvenators will be added into the step. So rather than 12 to 36 months after new paving, we see a fog seal, and then 12 to 36 months after that, we see a seal coat. I have a feeling what we're going to see in the interim when it comes to Caltrans, municipality work, private works, because there's guys like me that are out there promoting the rejuvenators. What we're going to end up seeing is the first, or what I would like to see is the first 2 cycles of maintenance or preservation would be a rejuvenator. So we just ensure before any coating goes on top of the surface that the skin, let's call it the skin of the asphalt, or the paper layer of the asphalt, is healthy enough to receive the seal coat. Because if the surface isn't healthy enough to receive the seal coat, this is what we're going to see. It's going to be widespread destruction in a premature fashion. Now, the thing is that's so unfortunate with this association is this association budgeted for me to come in. They saved for 30 years for me to do this job. They don't have money to do it again until another 30 years down the road. But at the rate they're going, thankfully they called me this year. Thankfully the other project called me this year. Actually last year. This project called me last year. The first one we looked at, the one that's a little bit older, called me this year. And thankfully they called. Now, whether or not they're going to take my advice, I can't speak to that. And frankly, I don't care. All I can do is give them the information. What they do with that information, it's up to them. But they have to realize that they don't have the money. And conventional wisdom tells the board, hey, the reserve study guy comes in, 3 contractors came in, everybody's telling him to preserve to protect their investment and preserve their investment, seal coat, seal coat, seal coat. So the odds are against me. There's more people telling these guys to seal coat than there are telling them not to seal coat. So odds are against me, but at the end of the day, when they need to pave this property in 5 or 10 years, if they keep on the plan that they're on, then they're going to come back to me and say, hey Scott, what can we do here? We don't have the money to pave for another 10 years. What do we do? And then it's then my suggestion, which associations, owners, ranches, they hear this comment from me a lot. We do nothing. We save our money. We do nothing. Just let it burn. There's no cracks. There's no structural damage. There's nothing wrong with the property. It might not be so beautiful, but just let it go. Just let it go. So anyway, I think we are about to wrap up here. We've given you guys a lot of information, and any questions, comments, I know I've thrown a lot of information at you guys. Anyway, email, write, click, like, dislike, whatever you guys do. Take care. We'll see you on the next one.